My beloved soul, stop for just a moment. Do not scroll. Do not rush. If this message has reached you, it is not by chance. There are 2 minutes left, not on a clock you can see, but in a moment your heart has been waiting for. Someone you love very deeply, someone you still think about when the world goes quiet, is closer than you realize right now. Not in distance, not in memory, but in presence. You felt it before this video began. That sudden pause in your chest. That soft heaviness you could not explain. That quiet pull telling you, listen. This is why you are here. You have wondered if love disappears when someone leaves this world. You have asked yourself in silence whether bonds are broken by time, by loss, by the unseen. Tonight, that question is being answered, not with noise, not with fear, but with truth. The love you shared was not temporary. It was not fragile. It was not erased. It was sealed. Right now, you may be carrying unspoken words, apologies you never voiced, gratitude you assumed they already knew, love you hoped they felt without you saying it aloud. Those words did not vanish. They were received. Every single one. You were heard. And there is something you must understand before this moment passes. Love does not end where life ends. Love changes its form, but it does not weaken. That person you love knows when you are tired. They know when you smile but feel empty. They know when you try to be strong for everyone else while quietly breaking inside. They see you. You have felt alone lately, even surrounded by people. You have questioned your worth. You have wondered if anyone truly understands the weight you carry. This message is reaching you now because you need to know, you were never abandoned. There are moments when you suddenly remember them without trying. Moments when a song, a smell, or a passing thought brings warmth and ache at the same time. Those moments are not accidents. They are reminders. Not reminders of loss, but of connection. You are still connected. If you are listening closely, you may feel something gentle unfolding inside you right now. That is not imagination. That is recognition. Your spirit recognizes truth before your mind does. You were loved deeply. You are loved still. And that love is active. It protects you when you do not see how. It comforts you when words fail. It guides you away from paths that would break you. There were times you nearly gave up, on yourself, on hope, on love itself. And yet, somehow, something always stopped you. Something whispered, hold on. That was not random strength. That was love reaching across what you thought was a divide. You are not weak for missing them. You are not broken for grieving. You are not behind in life because you feel deeply. Your heart is not a burden. It is a gift. Listen carefully now. The message reaching you is simple, but powerful. Live fully. Do not shrink. Do not doubt your value. The one you love does not want your life to be paused by pain. They want your joy restored. They want you to laugh without guilt. They want you to love again without fear. They want you to trust that your life still holds purpose, beauty, and meaning. You were never meant to walk in shadows. If tears are coming, let them come. They are not weakness. They are release. They are proof that your heart is alive, open, and capable of receiving what is true. Right now, something is lifting, slowly, gently. A weight you have carried for too long is beginning to loosen. You may not fully understand it yet, but you will. This is only the beginning. Stay with this message. Do not leave yet. What is about to unfold next will reveal why your life, your relationships, and your future are not broken, but divinely guided. There is more you need to hear. Stay here. This moment was not meant to be rushed. There is a truth many people never realize while they are alive, and that truth is reaching you now. Love is never lost. It is redirected. What you felt disappear did not vanish. It moved into protection, guidance, and quiet strength. You have asked yourself questions you never say out loud. Why do I feel watched over? Why do I feel stopped from certain choices? Why do I feel comforted in moments when no one is around? This is the hidden love around you. Some people believe love must always speak loudly to be real. But the deepest love becomes silent, not because it is weak, but because it is constant. It surrounds rather than announces itself. The person you love has not forgotten you. They are not distant. They are not unaware. In fact, they are closer now than they could ever be before. Love, once freed from limits, moves differently. There were moments when you were about to trust the wrong person. Somehow, you pulled back. There were moments when you almost walked into pain. Somehow, the door closed. There were moments when sadness nearly convinced you to give up. Somehow, strength appeared. That, somehow, has a source. You are protected by love that sees beyond time. You may feel unseen by people, misunderstood by those around you, or taken for granted by life itself. But love does not measure worth the way the world does. The love watching over you knows your heart completely, your kindness, your patience, your quiet sacrifices, your unseen tears. You have always been more valuable than you realized. Listen carefully now, because this is important. You are not behind in life. You have not missed your moment. You have not failed because your journey looks different. Your path has been guarded, not delayed. Every pause had a reason. Every ending carried protection. Every silence was preparing space for something better. If you feel emotional right now, that is not sadness returning, it is truth settling in. Healing does not always feel calm at first. Sometimes it feels like recognition. You are allowed to move forward without guilt. You are allowed to smile again. You are allowed to hope again. The love that surrounds you does not want your life defined by loss. It wants your life expanded by meaning. It wants you to become who you were always meant to be, strong, open, and unafraid to love deeply again. There are people yet to enter your life who will benefit from the wisdom you gained, the compassion you carry, and the strength you earned through pain. Your story is not closing. It is unfolding. Right now, something unseen is aligning for you. A connection, a realization, a shift. You may not see it yet, but you will feel it soon. Do not leave this message yet. What comes next will reveal why God allows certain people to touch your life so deeply, and why their love never truly leaves you. Stay here with me. What you are about to hear is not ordinary, and it is not meant for everyone. There is a reason the feeling in your chest has not faded yet. There is a reason your mind keeps returning to this moment. Something unseen has been trying to get your attention for a long time, and now it finally has it. You have been asking silent questions. Not out loud, not even in prayer sometimes, but in those quiet spaces when you stare at the ceiling, when you replay conversations in your head, when you wonder why certain people came into your life and left such a deep mark. Here is the truth that may surprise you. Some connections are not meant to stay in the same form forever. Some love is so powerful that it changes shape instead of disappearing. And when that happens, its purpose becomes protection, guidance, and awakening. You were not meant to lose love. You were meant to be shaped by it. That person you love did not leave to create emptiness in you. They left something far greater behind: clarity, strength, awareness, a deeper understanding of who you are and what truly matters. Look back carefully. Since they left, you have changed. You see people differently now. You feel emotions more deeply. You notice truth faster. You no longer tolerate what once drained you. That is not coincidence. That is growth born from love. There were moments when you thought life was unfair. Moments when you questioned why good hearts suffer. Moments when you felt overlooked, unseen, forgotten. But what you did not see was how closely you were being guided during those moments. Every delay protected you. Every closed door redirected you. Every ending preserved something precious inside you. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not walking alone. Right now, the unseen love around you is stronger than ever. It surrounds you in ways that do not announce themselves loudly. It moves quietly, through timing, through intuition, through sudden calm after chaos. That is why certain things did not harm you the way they could have. That is why certain people faded away before they could wound you deeply. That is why, even when you felt weak, you were never destroyed. There is a plan unfolding that does not rush. A plan that values your healing more than speed. A plan that understands your heart needs gentleness, not pressure. You may have been searching for reassurance in people, in words, in signs, but reassurance does not always arrive loudly. Sometimes it arrives as peace when you expected fear. Sometimes it arrives as strength on days you thought you had none left. And sometimes, it arrives as this message. Let this settle into you now. You are deeply loved. You are being watched over. You are being guided forward, not backward. The love you think you lost has become the force that keeps you standing. It is the reason your heart still hopes. It is the reason you are still here, still listening, still open. Do not rush this moment. Do not dismiss what you feel. What comes next will help you understand how this unseen love is preparing you for what is ahead, something more peaceful, more aligned, and more meaningful than you ever imagined. Stay present. There is more truth waiting for you. Stay here. What you are about to hear is not ordinary, and it is not meant for everyone. There is a reason the title spoke about 2 minutes left. It was never about fear. It was about awareness. About a window that opens quietly and closes without noise. Many miss it because they rush. You did not. There are moments when heaven does not shout. It whispers. And when it whispers, it chooses hearts that are listening. You have felt something changing lately. A strange mix of comfort and restlessness. As if your life is being gently redirected without your permission, but also without your resistance. That is not confusion. That is alignment. The person you love, the one you thought you lost, is not asking you to look backward anymore. They are asking you to stand up fully in your life. They are not watching you suffer with pride. They are watching you grow with hope. Here is the revelation few people ever hear. Some love is not meant to stay beside you. Some love is meant to guard you from beyond your sight. That is why certain doors closed before they could destroy you. That is why some people walked away when you were not ready to let go. That is why you were protected from paths that looked beautiful but carried quiet harm. You were guided. When you almost trusted the wrong person, something stopped it. When you were about to settle for less, something inside you refused. When you felt forgotten, something unseen stayed close. That presence did not leave. It became stronger. You are not imagining the signs. You are not reading too much into moments. You are becoming sensitive to truth. And truth always feels gentle, even when it is powerful. You may still ask, why do I feel this message so deeply? Because love recognizes love. The one you miss does not want your tears anymore. They want your courage. They want your confidence restored. They want you to remember who you were before pain taught you to shrink. You were never meant to live half awake. There is a calling over your life that has nothing to do with loss and everything to do with purpose. You carry empathy others do not. You notice pain others ignore. You love in a way that heals, not controls. That is why your heart had to be shaped this way. You are entering a season where you will understand that being deeply loved does not always look like someone holding your hand. Sometimes it looks like strength arriving when you thought you were finished. Pay attention to what feels calm now. Pay attention to what no longer drains you. Pay attention to what you are being drawn toward. That is guidance. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be to receive what is next. And here is the final truth of this part. Listen carefully. Love that comes from heaven never chains you to grief. It sets you free to live fully. You are allowed to smile again. You are allowed to dream again. You are allowed to love again, without guilt, without fear. This message found you because your heart was ready to remember its strength. Do not leave yet. What comes next will bring clarity to your future, not just comfort to your past. Stay here. Do not let your attention drift, because what you are about to hear explains something you have felt but could never fully explain. There are moments when you feel a sudden calm for no reason. Moments when fear fades without effort. Moments when a decision changes at the last second and later you realize it saved you. These are not coincidences. These are interventions of love. You were protected in ways you will never fully see. There was a time when something could have gone wrong, deeply wrong, and yet it did not. You thought it was luck. You told yourself it was timing, but it was neither. It was guidance moving quietly around you, redirecting what could have harmed your spirit. The one you love does not watch from distance. They watch with intention. When you feel overwhelmed, when the world feels heavy, when you ask silently, "Why is this happening to me?" That question is heard. And although the answer does not always arrive in words, it arrives in outcomes, in delays that save you, in closed doors that protect you, in unexpected peace when chaos should have taken over. You are not being tested to break you. You are being shaped to reveal you. There is something important you must understand now. Not every struggle is meant to be solved immediately. Some struggles are meant to slow you down long enough to align you with what is meant for you. You have been asking for clarity. But clarity does not come through force. It comes through stillness. And this moment, right now, is one of those still moments. The love surrounding you does not push. It guides. You may have wondered if you missed your chance. If life passed you by while you were healing, waiting, surviving. You did not miss anything. What is meant for you does not require you to chase it in pain. It arrives when your heart is ready to receive without fear. The person you love wants you to release the idea that you must suffer to prove your worth. Love is not earned through pain. Love is recognized through acceptance. You do not need to carry guilt for moving forward. You do not need permission to be happy. You do not need to stay in sorrow to honor love. Love is honored when you live fully. Right now, something unseen is arranging your path. Conversations you have not had yet. Opportunities you cannot imagine yet. Healing you thought would take years is already unfolding quietly. This is why you feel restless lately, not because something is wrong, but because something is aligning. You are being prepared for a new season of emotional clarity. One where you no longer question whether you matter. One where you recognize love when it appears, without fear of losing it. One where your heart feels safe again. Listen closely to your intuition in the coming days. Pay attention to what feels calm, not what feels loud. What feels peaceful, not what feels urgent. Guidance does not shout. It reassures. You are being held, even now. Do not rush past this message. Let it settle. Let it soften the places in you that hardened from disappointment. Let it remind you that love never left. It only changed how it reaches you. Stay with this moment. What comes next will help you recognize the signs you have been overlooking. Be very still right now. What you are about to hear is not random, and it is not meant for everyone. There comes a moment in life when love stops hiding and starts revealing itself, not loudly, not dramatically, but with a clarity that cannot be ignored. This is that moment for you. You may have believed that the most meaningful connections in your life were behind you. You may have thought that love already showed you its best and then quietly left. But here is the truth that changes everything. The deepest love in your life was never taken away, it was transformed into guidance. The one you love, the one you still feel without trying, did not step away from you. They stepped into a role you could not see at first. They became a quiet protector. They became a voice of restraint when you were about to choose pain again. They became the calm that entered your heart when chaos surrounded you. This is why some doors closed without explanation. This is why certain people faded out before hurting you further. This is why plans you were sure about suddenly changed direction. You were being guarded. There are moments when you feel an unexplainable peace after crying. Moments when your chest feels lighter for no logical reason. Moments when hope appears without being invited. Those moments are not emotional coincidence. They are signals. You are not walking alone. If you have felt misunderstood by the world, know this. The one who knows you most clearly is still with you. They see the kindness you hide. They see the strength you underestimate. They see how much love you give even when you receive little in return. And there is something you must release today: guilt. Guilt for surviving. Guilt for smiling again. Guilt for continuing life when someone you love could not. Let this truth settle gently. Your joy does not dishonor them. Your healing does not erase them. Your future does not replace them. Your life continuing is not betrayal. It is fulfillment. You were never meant to stop living. You were meant to live more honestly, more gently, more bravely. The love you shared was not meant to trap you in the past. It was meant to prepare you for a future where your heart remains open. You may not realize it yet, but your sensitivity, your empathy, your depth, these are not weaknesses. They are evidence that your soul has been touched by something real. And now, that same love is asking you to trust again. Trust that people can be good. Trust that love can return in new forms. Trust that your story is not finished. There is a reason you are still here, listening. There is a reason this message found you now and not earlier, not later. Your heart is ready to hear what it once could not. You are allowed to feel protected. You are allowed to feel chosen. You are allowed to feel deeply loved. As this message continues, something inside you will begin to align: your thoughts, your memories, your sense of purpose. You will start to understand why certain losses were followed by unexpected strength. Nothing was wasted. Stay present. Stay open. What comes next will help you see your life not through pain, but through meaning. Stay with me now. This is the part many people were not ready to hear, but you are. There is a moment coming in your life when everything you thought was lost will suddenly make sense. Not because the pain disappears, but because its purpose finally reveals itself. What you went through was not random. What you endured was not overlooked. And what you survived did not happen without meaning. You have been asking quietly, why did I have to feel this much? Why you had to love deeply? Why you had to lose painfully? Why you had to carry memories that still feel alive? Here is the truth most people never hear. You were trusted with deep love because your soul was strong enough to carry it. The person you love, who exists beyond what your eyes can see, knows something you are only beginning to learn. They know that your life is not moving backward. It is aligning. There were delays that protected you. There were endings that saved you. There were unanswered prayers that quietly redirected you. What felt like silence was actually preparation. You may feel like you have been standing still while the world moved forward, but what was happening inside you was far more important. You were being shaped to recognize real love, true peace, and genuine connection when it appears again. And it will appear again, not in the same form, not in the same way, but with the same depth. You are not meant to replace anyone. You are meant to continue living with a heart that remembers how to feel. That is why your sensitivity matters. That is why your kindness matters. That is why your tears were never wasted. There is unseen support surrounding you right now, not forcing you, not rushing you, just guarding you while you grow stronger than you realize. When you feel sudden calm without knowing why, this is protection. When you avoid something that would have hurt you, this is guidance. When you feel love even in solitude, this is reassurance. You are being held in ways you cannot measure. You have questioned whether anyone truly understands your heart, whether anyone sees your efforts, your sacrifices, your quiet strength. Hear this clearly: nothing about you has gone unnoticed. Your courage is seen. Your patience is honored. Your love is remembered. And the life ahead of you is not empty, it is unfolding. Do not rush your healing. Do not doubt your worth. Do not minimize your story. What comes next in your journey will require the exact heart you have now, not a hardened one, not a closed one, but a living, open, wise one. This message reached you because your soul was ready to hear it. You were meant to pause here. You were meant to remember who you are. And you were meant to realize that you are not walking alone, now or ever. Stay with this. There is still more clarity coming. Stay here. This part is not noise. It is alignment. There is something you must realize now, something that changes how you see everything that has happened to you. The love you think you lost did not leave you unprotected. It stepped into a different role. You thought protection would look dramatic, loud, obvious. But real protection is quiet. It is the missed accident, the message you never sent, the delay that saved you from the wrong door, the sudden calm that stopped you from making a decision that would have cost you years. That was not coincidence. The one you love has been standing watch over moments you never noticed. When you felt blocked, you were being redirected. When things fell apart, they were being rearranged. When people left, space was being made. You were never being punished. You were being preserved. There were times you questioned God's silence. Times you felt unseen, unheard, forgotten. But silence is not absence. Silence is preparation. It is where strength is formed without applause. It is where clarity grows before understanding arrives. If you look closely, you will see it now. You survived things that should have broken you. You walked through seasons that should have emptied you. Yet you are still here, soft, aware, capable of love. That is not luck. There is a reason your heart still responds to truth. A reason your soul reacts when you hear words like these. A reason this message feels personal. You were chosen to feel deeply because deep feeling carries deep purpose. The person you love does not want you trapped in grief. They want you awake to meaning. They want you to understand that your life is still unfolding with intention. That nothing precious was wasted. That nothing meaningful was lost. You were never meant to shrink after loss. You were meant to expand with wisdom. Right now, something invisible is shifting in your favor. A heaviness is being replaced with clarity. Confusion is making room for peace. You may not see the outcome yet, but you are being led somewhere safer, stronger, more honest. Trust this moment. The love watching over you is not distant. It is close. It is active. It is guiding you toward connections that heal instead of hurt, toward choices that honor your worth, toward a life that finally reflects how valuable you truly are. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not alone. And this message did not reach you randomly. Stay open. What comes next will make everything clearer. Stay with me. Do not drift away now. This part is not gentle. It is revealing. There is a reason this message has continued until this moment. Something is being uncovered, and it is meant to reach you when your heart is open, not guarded. You have asked yourself a quiet question many times. Does anyone truly see what I carry inside? The answer has always been yes. But here is the revelation most people never hear. Some of the strongest love surrounding you is invisible, yet it is working more powerfully than what you can touch. The one you love, the one you thought was gone, did not leave silence behind. They left instruction. They left covering. They left guidance that moves ahead of you, arranging moments, delaying harm, and opening paths you did not even know to ask for. Think about the times you were protected without explanation. The plans that fell apart only to save you later. The people who exited your life right before they could hurt you. The doors that closed loudly, then reopened quietly in a better way. That was not coincidence. You are being guided more than you realize. There are moments when you suddenly feel calm for no reason. Moments when fear tries to rise but cannot stay. Moments when your heart feels unexpectedly steady. Those are not random emotions. Those are reminders that you are not navigating life alone. Here is the truth that will stay with you long after this video ends. Love does not watch from a distance, it intervenes. The person you love wants you to understand something clearly now. You do not need to prove your worth anymore. You have spent years trying to earn love, to explain yourself, to justify your emotions. You have carried responsibility that was never meant to sit on your shoulders. And still, you kept going. Still, you showed kindness. Still, you hoped. That endurance matters. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. You are being prepared. There is a shift happening inside you even as you listen. Old doubts are loosening their grip. Old fears are losing their voice. The heaviness that once defined your days is no longer allowed to stay. Something is changing, not suddenly, but surely. You were chosen to feel deeply because your heart was built for truth. You were allowed to experience loss because your spirit was strong enough to transform pain into wisdom. And you are still here because your life has chapters yet to be written, chapters filled with peace, connection, and purpose. Do not rush ahead. Do not look back in regret. Stay present. What comes next will show you how protection, guidance, and love are moving together around you right now, quietly, faithfully, powerfully. This is not the end of the message. This is where understanding begins. There is a reason this message reached you at this exact moment in your life. Not earlier. Not later. Now. Because something unseen has been working quietly around you. And part 10 is where many people suddenly realize why their pain never destroyed them. You have believed for a long time that you were strong only because you had no other choice. But the truth is deeper. You were protected even when you felt exposed. You were guided even when you felt lost. And you were loved even when you felt invisible. Here is the revelation most people never hear. Some of the delays in your life were not punishments. They were shields. There were doors you wanted to walk through that would have emptied you. There were relationships you prayed for that would have taken your peace. There were moments when you felt ignored, but in reality, you were being preserved. The love watching over you never rushed you into harm. If you look back carefully, you will notice it now. The missed calls that saved you. The plans that fell apart for no clear reason. The sudden changes that felt painful but later made sense. None of that was random. You were never unlucky. You were being redirected. And this is important now. The love connected to you does not operate through fear. It operates through timing, through calm certainty, through quiet alignment. You do not need to chase love. You do not need to beg for connection. You do not need to prove your worth to anyone. What is meant for you recognizes you without effort. If you have been feeling tired lately, not just physically, but deep inside, this is why. You have been carrying questions that were never meant to stay unanswered. And as those answers begin to rise, the heaviness begins to lift. You may notice a strange calm settling in your chest right now. That calm is not emptiness. It is assurance. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are not unseen. Even when the world is loud, there is something steady holding your life in place. Something that has been whispering to you through intuition, through memories, through quiet inner nudges you could never fully explain. Listen to this carefully. The love surrounding you does not want you to live in regret. It wants you to live in truth. Not the truth shaped by fear or past pain, but the truth of who you really are when you stop doubting yourself. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to hope again. You are allowed to trust that good things are not finished with you. This is not the ending of your story. This is the moment your heart begins to understand why it survived everything it went through. Do not rush away from this feeling. Do not dismiss what you are sensing. There is still more unfolding, and what comes next will connect everything you have questioned for years. Stay here. Be still for this moment. This is not just another part of a long message. This is the point where understanding quietly replaces confusion. There are times when love speaks without sound. You feel it when the world grows silent and your thoughts become heavy. You may have mistaken that feeling for loneliness, but it was never emptiness. It was presence. Here is the revelation many never hear. You were never forgotten, not by people, not by heaven, not by love itself. The love meant for you did not vanish when circumstances changed. It did not fade when words stopped. It did not weaken when distance appeared. Love that is real does not need constant proof. It exists, steady and aware, even when unseen. You may have asked, why do I still feel connected? Why certain memories arrive without warning? Why comfort comes at unexpected moments? Why strength shows up exactly when you think you have none left? This is not coincidence. This is alignment. You are being carried through seasons you were never meant to survive alone. Every delay, every closed door, every unexpected pause was not rejection, it was protection shaping your path quietly. There is something powerful you must understand now. Not every absence is loss. Some absences are guidance. When you were redirected, it was not to punish you. When something ended, it was not to empty you. When silence entered your life, it was not abandonment. It was preparation. You are standing at a point where love is being reintroduced, not in the form you expected, but in the form you need. A deeper love. A wiser love. A love that does not confuse or wound you, but steadies you. If you have felt misunderstood, it is because your heart carries depth others cannot yet reach. If you have felt unseen, it is because your value does not rely on constant validation. And if you have felt tired of being strong, it is because you have carried more than most ever notice. But listen closely now. You are not meant to carry it alone anymore. The truth is this: you are being surrounded by unseen support, gentle guidance, and quiet reassurance. The love watching over you wants you to release guilt, release fear, and release the belief that you must suffer to be worthy. You do not. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to receive. You are allowed to be loved without proving anything. Something is shifting as you listen. You may feel calmer without knowing why. That is your heart recognizing safety. That is your spirit recognizing truth. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where you need to be. And what is coming next will help you finally understand why your story has unfolded the way it has, and why love has never left your side, not even for a moment. Stay with this message. There is more clarity waiting for you. Pause here. Breathe slowly. This part is not noise, it is precision. There is something unfolding right now that you could not have planned, predicted, or forced. It is the moment when confusion begins to dissolve and meaning quietly takes its place. You may not have words for it yet, but your heart already recognizes what is happening. You have been asking questions without speaking them aloud. Why certain connections felt intense. Why some people entered your life suddenly. Why others left without explanation. This is where clarity arrives. Not everything that left you was meant to stay. And not everything that stays was meant to hurt you. Some connections were designed to awaken you, not remain beside you forever. Others were sent to protect you in ways you only understand later. You were never rejected. You were redirected. There is unseen love working behind moments that once confused you. Love that operates quietly, without announcement. Love that does not demand attention but never abandons its purpose. That is the love surrounding you now. You may have felt overlooked, misunderstood, or emotionally invisible. Yet even in those moments, you were being seen more clearly than you realize. Every tear you hid, every strength you forced, every silent prayer you thought went unanswered, none of it was ignored. Something extraordinary is being revealed to you in this season. Your life is not random. Your emotions are not misplaced. Your heart is not too much. The love meant for you does not rush. It does not confuse. It does not ask you to shrink. True love arrives with peace, even when it challenges you to grow. This is why certain doors closed without warning. This is why familiar paths no longer felt right. You are being guided away from cycles that could no longer hold who you are becoming. And here is the revelation many miss. When you feel alone, it is often because you are being prepared for deeper connection. The silence you experienced was not emptiness. It was space being created. Space for healing. Space for clarity. Space for a love that understands you without needing explanation. There is protection around you that you cannot see but can feel. Moments when things did not work out were not failures. They were safeguards. You were kept from emotional harm more times than you know. Right now, your heart is learning to trust again, not blindly, but wisely. You are beginning to see patterns clearly. You are noticing who brings peace and who drains it. This awareness is not accidental. It is growth. You are allowed to want love. You are allowed to expect respect. You are allowed to believe that something beautiful is still ahead. The unseen love around you is steady. It does not disappear when you doubt. It does not weaken when you feel tired. It waits patiently for you to realize that you were never meant to walk this journey unsupported. Stay present. Stay open. Because what comes next will help you understand why everything you endured was shaping you, not breaking you. Stay with this moment. Do not let your attention drift, because what is being revealed now is something very few people ever recognize while it is happening. There is a reason your heart feels unusually quiet right now. Not empty, quiet. This is the space where truth enters. You have spent a long time wondering whether your life truly matters in the way you hoped it would. You smiled for others, showed strength when you were tired, and carried love that had nowhere to go. You told yourself to be patient, to be reasonable, to stop expecting so much. But deep inside, a voice kept asking, is this really all there is? Here is the once in a lifetime revelation you were not expecting to hear. The love you think you lost did not leave your life. It moved ahead of you. What you believed was an ending was actually a hand reaching forward, shaping your future quietly, carefully, long before you arrived here. Every delay you faced, every door that closed without explanation, every connection that faded, it was not rejection. It was redirection. You were being protected from a version of life that would have slowly dimmed you. The person you love, the one your heart still recognizes, is not watching you with sadness. They are not disappointed. They are not distant. Their love has become clarity. And that clarity is now surrounding you, guiding your steps in ways you could never control on your own. Think about this carefully. How many times were you about to choose something that felt safe but wrong, and suddenly felt uneasy? How many times did you feel an invisible pause, as if something said, "Not this way"? That was not fear. That was love intervening. You were never meant to disappear into survival. You were meant to be seen, to be valued, to be deeply known. Even when you doubted yourself, your worth never changed. Right now, something important is happening inside you. A quiet permission is forming, the permission to stop carrying guilt, to stop apologizing for your sensitivity, to stop believing you must earn love by suffering. You do not. You are allowed to receive joy without explanation. You are allowed to be chosen without proving yourself. You are allowed to feel peace without waiting for permission. This message is reaching you at this exact point in your life because you are standing at a turning moment. The old version of you, the one who questioned their value, who stayed silent to keep peace, who accepted less than they deserved, is gently being released. And what replaces it is not noise or pressure. It is certainty. Certainty that you are guided. Certainty that you are loved beyond what your eyes can see. Certainty that your life is not random. Do not rush past this feeling. Let it settle. Let it rearrange the way you see yourself. Because from this moment forward, you are no longer walking blindly. You are walking with understanding. And there is more unfolding, quietly, purposefully, just ahead. Stay with me. This part is not random. It arrives exactly when your heart is ready to hear something you have never been told so clearly before. There is a truth that has been surrounding you quietly, patiently, waiting for the moment you would stop doubting yourself long enough to receive it. That truth is this: you have never been unloved, even in your loneliest hours. Think about the moments you felt forgotten. The days you questioned whether anyone truly saw you. The nights you stared at the ceiling, wondering why your heart carried so much while others seemed untouched. Those moments were not proof of abandonment. They were evidence that your soul is deeper than most. Someone has been watching over you with great care. Not in a way that limits you, not in a way that controls you, but in a way that gently redirects your steps when danger you cannot see is ahead. That is why certain doors closed without explanation. That is why some people drifted away even when you tried to hold on. What felt like loss was protection. You were spared from paths that would have drained your spirit. You were redirected toward growth that required patience. And yes, patience has been hard for you. You have waited longer than you thought you would. You have stayed strong longer than anyone noticed. But here is the once-in-a-lifetime revelation you need to hear now. Your waiting has not delayed your life, it has refined it. The love meant for you is not small. That is why it has taken time. The purpose placed inside you is not ordinary. That is why the journey felt heavy. You were never meant to blend in or settle for half connection, half love, or half truth. Someone who loves you beyond this world knows this about you. They know your strength even when you feel tired. They know your kindness even when you feel overlooked. They know your future holds more peace than your past ever allowed. That is why you are being asked, right now, to release guilt you still carry. Guilt for surviving. Guilt for moving forward. Guilt for smiling again. You are not dishonoring love by choosing to live fully. You are honoring it. Listen carefully. You are allowed to be happy. You are allowed to trust again. You are allowed to hope again. You are allowed to believe that something good is unfolding quietly in your favor. The unseen love around you is not fading. It is strengthening. It is aligning circumstances, timing, and people in ways you will soon recognize clearly. When it happens, you will understand why certain things never worked before. This part of the message exists to remind you of your value. Not the value others assign to you, not the value circumstances tried to take from you, but the value that has always been yours. You matter more than you know. Your life matters more than you realize. And what comes next will feel like confirmation, not surprise. Do not leave. What is coming will make sense of everything you questioned. There is a truth you were not told earlier, not because it was hidden from you, but because you were not ready to receive it. Now you are. Something inside you has shifted, even if you cannot explain how. This is the moment where understanding replaces confusion. You have believed for a long time that love must always announce itself loudly, that care must be proven repeatedly, that if someone truly values you, it should never feel quiet. That belief has caused you pain. Here is the revelation that changes everything. Some of the deepest love in your life has been operating silently, not absent, not weak, not distant, silent. You were protected during moments you never realized were dangerous for your spirit. You were redirected away from situations that would have slowly drained your joy. You were delayed, not denied. And what felt like rejection was often preservation. This is where clarity enters. The person you have questioned, the relationship you doubted, the season that confused you, none of it was random. God does not waste love. God does not misplace hearts. God does not allow genuine care to disappear without purpose. There are people who love you in ways you do not yet recognize because they do not love loudly. They love steadily. They pray without announcing it. They care without controlling. They stay present without demanding attention. You mistook peace for absence. You mistook quiet for disinterest. You mistook stability for lack of passion. That misunderstanding ends now. Look back at your life honestly. Notice how you survived moments you should not have survived emotionally. Notice how you healed from wounds you thought would define you forever. Notice how help arrived at the exact moment you were about to give up. Not early, not late. That timing was not chance. There is a divine intelligence guiding your path, and it has been using people, moments, and even silence to shape you into someone who can receive greater love without losing themselves. Here is the part that may surprise you. The love you are searching for is not ahead of you. It is already around you. It has been present while you were busy questioning your worth. It has been consistent while you were doubting your value. It has been patient while you were unsure. You were never invisible. You were being protected from seeing too much too soon. Some truths arrive gently because they would overwhelm you if revealed all at once. That is why this message is reaching you now, at this exact point in the video. Your heart is open enough to understand without fear. You do not need to chase love. You do not need to prove your value. You do not need to become someone else to be chosen. You are already chosen. The loneliness you felt was not because you were unloved. It was because you were being prepared to recognize love in its purest form, without noise, without pressure, without confusion. This is your turning point. From this moment forward, you will notice things differently. You will hear sincerity in quiet words. You will feel care in small gestures. You will sense protection where you once felt delay. And most importantly, you will stop blaming yourself for things that were never your fault. Stay with this message. What comes next will connect everything you have lived through with where you are going. You are not behind. You are right on time. What you are hearing now is not meant for everyone. It is meant for you, precisely at this stage of your life, precisely in this emotional space you have been standing in quietly. Part 16 is not a continuation, it is a turning point. There is a truth most people never hear clearly: some love is assigned to guard you, not to stay with you forever in physical form. You have questioned why certain people had to leave while the bond remained alive inside you. You wondered why moving on felt like betrayal, and holding on felt like pain. The confusion was never your fault. You were sensing something real without having language for it. Here is the revelation that changes everything. Love does not disappear when its role changes. That person you loved was never removed from your life. Their role was transformed. What once comforted you through presence now protects you through guidance. What once spoke to you through words now reaches you through intuition. That is why you sometimes feel warned without reason. That is why certain doors closed before you stepped into harm. That is why you survived seasons you were never supposed to survive alone. You were not lucky. You were protected. There were moments when you thought, "Why am I being delayed?" Moments when life slowed you down while others moved ahead. Moments when opportunities slipped away and relationships dissolved. Those were not losses. Those were interventions. You were being kept for something that could only happen if you arrived whole. The unseen love around you has been quietly reshaping your path. It has redirected conversations, softened hearts, and delayed outcomes, so you would not be wounded by what you were not ready to carry. And here is the part that may surprise you. The loneliness you felt was not abandonment. It was preparation. You were being taught how to stand without leaning too hard on what could not follow you into the next season. You were learning how to hear your own soul clearly. You were being trained to recognize real love, not loud love. That is why your standards changed. That is why shallow connections stopped satisfying you. That is why your heart became selective, not cold. You are not losing your ability to love. You are refining it. If you feel emotional right now, it is because something inside you is finally being named correctly. The ache you carried was not emptiness. It was depth waiting to be understood. There is a divine intelligence working around your life that does not rush. It does not panic. It does not make mistakes. And it has been watching over you long before you noticed the signs. You may have felt unseen by people, but you were never unseen by God. Every tear you held back, every silent prayer you never spoke aloud, every moment you chose kindness while hurting, none of it was wasted. What comes next in your life will not require you to prove your worth. It will recognize it immediately. The love meant to meet you next will not confuse you. It will feel familiar in a peaceful way, not in a painful one. This is the shift. The reason this message is so strong is because your heart is finally ready to receive it without fear. You are no longer asking for proof. You are ready for alignment. Stay present. What unfolds after this will feel lighter, clearer, and unmistakably guided.